many of us suspect that the game of mates is on the rise. And the Australian Research Council put over $200,000 into a research study led by Professor Paul Frijters.
In nearly all the areas of regular economic life that we've looked at here in Australia, you find the same pattern, that in terms of the money coming into people, a lot of it is siphoned off via this game, and in terms of the money going out, you easily pay twice as much as you should. Take an example. The biggest purchase you probably will make in your life is your house. But you effectively pay for it by having a mortgage with the bank. Now, every year in this country, you will have paid about 1 to 2% more on your mortgage than you would have done in another country. Now, 1 to 2% a year doesn't sound much, but 1 to 2% a year every year means after 2 years you've paid 2 to 4% too much. After 10 years you've paid 20 to 40% too much. And before you've actually given back the money from your mortgage, you've easily paid twice as much. The game has evolved into a very invisible set of relationships whereby everything that you pay for, you pay too much, everything that of coming in, a cut has been taken off, then you easily hence indeed end up twice as poor as you could be.
So another big industry is in infrastructure, road building, tunnels, bridges, and it seems to me like Australia does pretty well. We have a lot of nice new transport infrastructure, so help me see what's going on with the game of mates there.
Well, the first thing to ask yourself with a lot of new infrastructure is who owns it. Those turn out to be often private companies, private individuals, private entities. But if you then ask the question, well, who's actually paid for it? The answer is surprisingly often, the public has paid for it. And hence, these roads, these bridges, these tunnels are effectively given to private enterprises in a little game of mates between the politicians, the top bureaucrats, and these particular transport companies. And there are various accounting tricks that they've basically used. If you, for instance, guarantee people a 15% return on a particular amount of investment, that is like giving gold to individuals. We end up paying for its construction. They run no risks at all. We even want to start to do this with schools and hospitals, which hence are also, as it were, at risk of being taken over by private entities, whereas we, the public, have paid for it. And it's just a direct theft, as far as I'm concerned, of public assets. If politicians and bureaucrats are giving out favors worth billions, hundreds of millions, then it should be sold off. It should be clear who is getting that favor and what they're paying for it. If they're not paying for it, and if it's not clear, then you can almost bet your bottom dollar that some bunch of insiders is taking it for their benefit and you're not getting a part of that pie. I find it quite stunning, really, how many of our former top politicians now find it completely normal to spend the twilight of their career organising lobbying activities and sort of robbing the rest of us.
Australia sounds like it's the game of mates is penetrating every corner. Are we really that bad?
Well, I think it's gotten a lot worse the last 15 years in Australia, most definitely. You see this in the widening inequality in Australia. This used to be a very equal country, now it's become a very unequal country. But I wouldn't say it's the worst country in the world. I think that in America you've had similar things going on. It's partly why Trump has been so popular, with lots of people who feel they've lost out and that the special interests are running Washington. Drain the swamp was the saying. It's of course not clear that Trump is going to do this at all, but I think apart from America, I would be hard-pressed to name another Western country where things are as bad as they are here at the moment.